Welcome to Daily Tax Minute. This is Tony Novak here to share a few points on saving taxes and staying out of tax trouble. Today's topic is problem nonprofits, and let's jump right in. So, over my career, just coming up on crossing the fourth decade into the fifth decade, I've started dozens of nonprofits. I recall when I first ventured into this area, my attitude was that anybody that wanted to form a nonprofit, organize people, uh, raise money, and do something good in society, I wanted to support that. And I did. Created dozens of nonprofits that got started. The vast majority, I've learned, basically fizzle out. They start off with great ideas, but they don't have the organizational skill or the finances or the fundraising skill, and they just fizzle out. Maybe they get 5,000, 10,000, maybe even up to 50,000 for a couple of years, but then they disappear because they don't have a professional business plan in place to keep going. Those are not problematic. Nobody really cares. That's life. Life is imperfect, and that's how it goes. At the other end of the spectrum, large nonprofits that are well into multiple six figures and seven figures of revenues, they're able to handle and hire professional management and who handle their duties the same as they would with any for-profit or any other client. And those tend to not be a problem. Those tend to be well managed. The problem nonprofits are the ones in the middle. And by that, I mean ones that are big enough to attract attention. Often that means that they have high profile people on their boards, maybe a CPA, maybe attorney, maybe a politician, maybe they're on the evening news. They're big enough to get attention, but they're not big enough to afford professional management. Let's say a nonprofit brings in, just for discussion, a round number of 100,000. The minimum management of the accountants that I know that provide that service is in the few $1,000s, and of course fees are going up at a fairly rapid pace. So at this point, my minimum fee is $6,000. So if a firm, if a small business only brings in $100,000 gross revenue, 6,000 is 6% of the operating margin. That's generally considered too much to be spending on professional management of a small business. Now, if you think of it, 100,000 really isn't big enough to be a business. If you're, I don't know, selling widgets and only bringing in $100,000, maybe you'd be better off not running a business and being a W-2 salaried employee instead. So that's what I'm talking about. It's those nonprofits that aren't big enough to really do things professionally, and they're the ones that seem to be the problems where I see perennial issues of noncompliance, mishandling of funds, sloppiness, mostly, not so much deliberate, but just bad management. And I don't have any answer. Things cost what they cost today, and those ones in the middle, in the I'm going to say 50,000 up to 300,000 gross revenue. That's the size of nonprofits that I see the most problems with. Would love to hear your thoughts or comments, feedback on this topic. I'm easy to reach through social media, or reach out to me one-on-one at taxproblems.cpa. I'll be back tomorrow.